Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, good morning. Prempe, good morning. Is that how you cheer your contestants when they come up? So cheer like you cheer for your contestants. Good morning. Okay, you're all warmly welcome to this morning's mentorship session, which is proudly brought to you by Tigo, Live It, Love It, Prudential Life Insurance, Always Listening, Always Understanding, Goyle, Good Energy, and Accra College of Medicine, Ghana's leading private medical university. Over the past few weeks, we have had mentors come around, talk to the students to encourage them to continue studying science and maths. Every day we've had one mentor. But guess what? Today we have two mentors for you. I thought you were going to put your hands together for that. Oh, please appreciate us. We got you two mentors today. Appreciate us. So this is how it's going to work. We are going to have all the two mentors come up here to speak to us, and afterwards we'll take the questions for the two of them. Our first speaker, Mr. James Wood, is the head of Actuarial Department of Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, one of our sponsors. He previously worked with Stallion Consultants as an actuarial consultant, providing services to several insurance companies and pension schemes. He holds a BSc in Computer Science and Statistics from the University of Ghana, Legon, and a postgraduate diploma in management from the University of Cape Town in South Africa. He is a member of the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries in UK and the Actuarial Society of Ghana. He is very passionate about the development of actuarial profession in Ghana and has led several internship programs where he exposed university students to practical actuarial concepts. Please put your hands together for our first speaker, but then I'll introduce the second one before he comes up. So our second speaker for today is Mr. Kennedy Nyavor. He is an actuarial analyst at Prudential Life Insurance as well. He is an alumnus of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and he graduated as the overall best actuarial science student in 2013-2014 academic year. Or you can put your hands together for him. Kennedy is a past winner of Prudential Life Actuarial Support Scheme, where he did a one-year program internship with the Prudential Life Insurance. He is passionate about actuarial models and is also known in Prudential Life as Microsoft Excel guru. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Kennedy as well. So it's time for us to hear from our first speaker, and I would invite him to the podium. Please put your hands together for him. Mr. James Wood.
Good morning. I just wanted to, keep you interested in what I'm about to talk about. It's an honor to be speaking here to the future of Ghana, and it's also an honor to talk to you about actuarial science. Can I have the presentation? Looks like they forgot to put it on. All right, whilst we wait for the presentation to load, how many of you have heard of actuarial science? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a few. That's good. I hope by the end of the session, more people would appreciate and understand what actuarial science is about. Okay. All right. Hopefully, I'll be able to figure this out. So before I speak about actuarial science, I'd like to talk about risk. You cannot talk about actuarial science without talking about risk. So I will talk about risk. I'll talk about who an actuary is. I'll tell you why an actuary works. Then I'll also tell you about how to become an actuary. Then Kennedy will come and talk to you about what an actuary does on a daily basis. And then we'll take some questions, and hopefully I'll have the right answers for you. So let's start with risk. What is risk? Now, Wikipedia defines risk as the potential of losing something of value or gaining something of value. So I'll give you a few examples of risks that individuals face. You've worked hard, you've bought yourself a Mercedes-Benz, but there's a risk that it could be involved in a car accident. Another risk is that you may not have enough money to pay for your medical bills. Another risk you can have is you may not have saved enough money to live comfortably during retirement. You may also lose your laptop or your iPhone. And you may invest your money. And for some reason, some of the money, you will lose value in some of the money. So these are risks that we all face on a daily basis. There's one risk I didn't put there, a risk that we all face, and that risk is death. There's a risk that you will die one day, and you may not be prepared for it. How about companies? What risks do companies face? There's a risk that your office building will be destroyed by fire or damaged by floods. There's a risk that you sell a defective product and you'll be sued. There's a risk that your regulator may fine you for not doing proper due diligence when you were taking on customers. There's a risk that your employees will misappropriate money. And there's one last risk, climate change. Climate change is a new risk. And I'll give you an example of a risk climate change poses. Currently, Ghana exports cocoa beans. Due to climate change, it's possible that in a few years' time, we will not be able to export cocoa beans because the weather would have changed and now cocoa will not be able to grow in Ghana. So that's also a risk for companies that export cocoa. All right, so I've given you a few risks that we all face, both individuals and companies. Now, we have to face, as we all exposed to these risks, we have four choices. We can either avoid those risks, we can accept them, we can reduce the risk of them occurring, or we can transfer those risks. In all four scenarios, there's a cost to it. If I accept the risk, then it means that if my small fee for that. In actuarial science, he's a problem solver, a strategic analytical thinker, and he has deep understanding of the financial systems. Now, an actuary doesn't know everything. So what he does is he works with other professionals to help develop solutions for real-world problems. And then here I have what we call the actions, but we monitor the solution. So I'm going to give you a brief example. So there's a risk of death. One day, each and every one of us is going to pass away. But you want to be prepared. So at Prudential Life, we thought that why don't we come up with a product that protects people against the risk of death? And in case they don't die within the term of the product, we'll give them all back the monies they paid. So we went ahead and so that was a problem we were going to solve. So then what we do is we look at data. What kind of data do we look at? We look at the data that refers to death. Actuarial science calls it mortality. So we're going to pick up a lot of people's data who have passed away. We'll look at their ages, and we determine the probability of them dying. Now that we've done that, we also look at how much money would we want to give away, or not give away, would we want to pay? So let's assume 50,000. Prudential is ready to pay 50,000. If you pay 35 cedis a month for the next 15 years, if you pass away, we will pay you 50,000 cedis. 50,000 cedis today is not the same as 50,000 cedis tomorrow. So we have to consider the time value of money. We design a product, but we have to make sure that the product meets legislation. Is the product fair? Are the terms and conditions fair? Now, once I sell the product to you, I'm going to monitor and see whether the assumptions are made are actually being realized. So I would have made an assumption that over the next 15 years, only 5 people will pass away. But then what really happened was only 1 person passed away, which means that my assumption has to be modified. So that's the actuarial control cycle. I've just given you an example where the risk was death, but there are so many other examples we could use. So where does an actuary work? Here I have an actuary working on the beach. We don't work on the beach, but we do work in other financial fields. I've given you an example where actuaries work, life insurance. So we provide products to help people transfer the risk of death, transfer the risk of being involved in an accident and needing medical bills. We also have general insurance. So in the case where I gave the example of the motor vehicle being involved in an accident, general insurance will provide benefits to help you repair your vehicle. Then we have health insurance. So this is where if you're not able to meet your medical benefits, you can pay a premium upfront, and the health insurance company will pay your medical benefits. Now, I also mentioned about you not having enough funds to meet, to help you live. I mentioned that actuaries, that there were risks faced by companies. And if you happen to have more than one company, where you have a group of companies, you're all faced with risks. So enterprise risk management looks at risks that each and every company faces and then looks at it holistically. Then we also have actuaries who work in software development. They help programmers develop softwares so that actuaries can use. The National Insurance Commission, here actuaries will review institutions, work for several clients. A new field that is coming up is banks. Regulations are the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries in the UK, the Society of Actuaries in the US, and then the Actuarial Society of Ghana. Currently, the Actuarial Society of Ghana hasn't started administering exams, but they hope to do so in the future. What designations do we have in the actuarial body? You can be a fellow, that is the highest designation. You can be an associate, and you can be a certified actuarial analyst. You'll be financial mathematics, economics, finance, and ethics. That will be, they are general, so everybody goes through them. Then you decide, you then decide which of the specializations you want to get into. Do you want to do life insurance? You will be examining life insurance. If you want to specialize in health insurance, you'll be examining health insurance. You have general insurance, investments, pensions, and enterprise risk management. A new exam is banking. How long does it take to qualify as an actuary? It depends on you, but on average, 5 to 7 years. There are a number of universities in Ghana that offer actuarial science degrees. Some of them are University of Ghana, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, University of Cape Coast, and the University of Developmental Studies. So what skills do we need to become an actuary? You have to be good in math. You have to love math. You must have a passion for math. So even if you studied English, even if you studied sociology, if you have a love for math, then you qualify. You must have good analytical and problem-solving skills. You must have good communication skills. You must also have good programming skills. And because you work with others, you must be a good team player. And last but not least, you must persevere in writing, in studying and passing your exams. Thank you. I'll now invite Kennedy to come and take you through a day in the life of an actuarial analyst.
And then I'll ask, how are you today? Sorry. So, there will be support opportunity at his interest scheme. Now, I like to measure it. And so the whole model. So for instance, we sell different kinds of products. We have product called education support plan that your parent will possibly buy to take care of your educational needs, maybe when you are going to the university. So the role of the actuary here is to determine how much will be paid out if someone should contribute, say, 50 cedis for 10 years. Now, you can't just stand up and do this. You have to build a model. So the model will involve assumptions, formulas, programs in Excel that will do these calculations. Now, as actuaries, we also do what is called experience analysis. So we make assumptions when we are determining how much premium you should pay for a particular benefit. As years go by, these assumptions may not necessarily be the case. So we go back, take historical data, and try to compare the actuals versus what we have assumed. And if actuals are different from what we assumed, then we make changes to our model. We also do, we also assist customer service to answer customer-related questions. So for instance, when someone visits our branch and says, oh, how much has my contribution grown to? Then they will contact the actuarial team and we'll help them know how much their contribution is worth. We also do what is known as actuarial valuation. Actuarial valuation involves determining how much liability the insurance company or a pension scheme owes its policyholders. And this is very important because insurance companies collect premium so that they can pay claims. But then if they don't know how much claim that they will likely pay, then they won't prepare for it. Think about the tsunami that happened in Japan some time back. Insurance companies have to pay claims. So if they are not prepared, if they've not set funds aside to pay these claims, when they fall due, the company will go bankrupt. So that's one thing that we do. One other thing that we do. We also report to management. We report on key performance indicators, KPIs, to management. That is, how has the business as a whole performed? And we'll do this over several metrics. That is, say, premium income, number of sales, number of manpower or sales agents, and a lot more. As an actuary, you need to have a very good Excel skills. In fact, you need Excel everywhere. In today's corporate world, you need Excel everywhere. Even at a bank, you would have to enter some data in Excel. So Excel skill is very, very important. I used to watch the science and math quiz as a student, and I wish I could take part in it then. But we had this headmaster who said because the school lost miserably in 1995 when they took part, so he won't allow us to take part. Today, I'm happy to be here, and I'm honored to share my experiences with you. I wish you well in the competition. Thank you. If you have any questions.
Please, someone has a question. Please.
There are two guys who came to speak to us. What's the...
Okay. In fact, my former...
The number of females qualifying as actuaries is increasing by the year. My mentor is a female actuary, so there are a lot of females. Maybe there are not a lot of females in the Prudential life, but there are a lot of female actuaries.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I wanted to ask about the financial benefits of being an actuary.
Okay, can I take that?
I don't know what
To be good at math. Oh, please allow me to ask my question. Please, you kept saying we have to be good at math in order to... What if I'm not good at math, but I really want to be part of you? Oh, please allow me to. If I'm not good at math, but I've tried everything, but oh, please, why are you doing that to me? Apology accepted. So if I really want to be there, but then my math is just not on point, so what do I do?
you can... I think you would have to learn. It's important that you're good at maths. But even if you're not, there are other means by which you can be involved in actuarial science. One thing we forgot to mention was that even though actuarial science is a stepping stone, even though it's a field, so what you would expect is that if you study accounting, you become an accountant. If you study actuarial science, you become an actuary. Or it's just a stepping stone. You have actuaries who are CEOs. You have actuaries who are chief risk officers. You have actuaries who sit on boards because of the vast knowledge and experience that they have. So you may not understand a lot of maths, but I think with experience you get to use some of that knowledge. Yeah. All right. Thank you for having us, and all the best.
Okay, that's good. So, Mr. James Wood and Mr. Kennedy Nyavor, thank you very, very much for being here with us today and for sharing everything you shared with us. On behalf of the sponsors, organizers, and audience, I want to thank you very much. And thank you very much, audience. Even though you made a lot of noise when I was asking my question, I still thank you very much. And we are going to have some questionnaires going around. They've been altered a bit, so please bear with us. And then please give us your very honest opinions. And I want to remind you that this session was proudly brought to you by Tigo, Prudential Life Insurance, Goyle, and Accra College of Medicine. My name is God's baby Charlene Ade. I was a moderator